Hello, viewers. This is the YouTube channel Lex Consilium Foundation, and I am Major General Neelendra Kumar on the playlist In Similie. Now, today we have something very urgent that has come up, and more than urgent, it is also of a very significant importance having regard to the constitutional provisions, and I'm talking about the matter that has started after the statement made by Justice Bhuyan of the Supreme Court. Though he has only spoken up on this, the main matter relates to much earlier. And just to bring you on board, this is with regard to a decision. In fact, judicial initiative, if I can say, that was taken by Justice Atul Sreedharan when he was a judge at the Madhya Pradesh High Court. And there he had taken suo motu notice of a statement that was made by a minister of the Madhya Pradesh government, and the matter related to this Mr. Vijay Shah, a mantri of Madhya Pradesh Sarkar, said to have used this scurrilous language against Colonel Sophia Qureshi of the army. Now, following this decision or initiative by Justice Atul Sreedharan, thereafter, in the timeline, he was sought to be transferred to Chhattisgarh High Court first. And as you would be aware, the powers for such a decision only rest with the Collegium of the Supreme Court. And subsequently, the same decision to move him from Madhya Pradesh High Court to Chhattisgarh was changed to Allahabad High Court, and the decisions of the Collegium are expected to be made public by placing them on the Supreme Court website. And there it said that it has been done at the instance of the government. Now, this matter was taken up by Justice Bhuyan in address he made, I think, at Pune in a law college while he was speaking about the judiciary, the constitution, and very many collected matters. And there he said that he raised the issue and pointed out that what is needed uh, is, in fact, he pointed out that it is a government dictated transfer, and he criticized the Collegium for transfer on the nudge of the government, and that has led to that it is to a remark in the Indian Express that it is a striking intrusion, and it is demonstrative of government's intervention in judicial transfers. Now, speaking on this here, I'm grateful to Justice Madan Lokur, formerly of the Supreme Court, one of the most distinguished and respected judges in the country, who had been Chief Justice of Andhra Pradesh and Guwahati High Court, and was then in the Supreme Court as a judge from 2012 to December 2018. Now, Justice Lokur, I'm grateful to you, and having regard to very pressing time that you have, I would like to request you to please give your comments on this matter, and start by saying that has the government, and obviously here it is union government, any role in the transfer of judges in the scheme of the Supreme Court?
Yes, thank you, Major General. You see, I think the sequence of events is a little important. One is that the learned judge, Justice Atul Sreedharan, was transferred from the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh sometime in March 2025 to his parent High Court, which is Madhya Pradesh High Court. Now, as you say, some incident occurred or some judgment was delivered by him in May 2025. Maybe, I mean, I've read about it in the newspapers, but I have not gone through the judgment or any order passed in this regard. But it does appear that after that, after May 2025, Justice Atul Sreedharan was sought to be transferred to the Chhattisgarh High Court. Now, the resolution of the Collegium transferring him to Chhattisgarh High Court is not available on the website of the Supreme Court. I don't know why. But what is available on the website of the Supreme Court is a resolution of 14th October 2025, which says that on a reconsideration of the transfer of Justice Atul Sreedharan from Chhattisgarh, on a reconsideration requested by the government, the Collegium has now decided to transfer him to Allahabad High Court. So this indicates two things. One, that there was a resolution transferring him to Chhattisgarh, which, like I said, is not on the website of the Supreme Court. And the second thing is that the government sought reconsideration of the transfer to Chhattisgarh, and accepting the request of the government, the Collegium transferred him to Allahabad High Court. Now, what is missing is the reason. The reason why the Chhattisgarh transfer resolution is not on the website. The reason why the government sought reconsideration of the transfer from Chhattisgarh to some other high court. We don't know whether the government sought transfer from Chhattisgarh to some other high court or from Chhattisgarh to Allahabad High Court. That is not clear. But what is the reason for the request for reconsideration? We don't know, so everybody's just shooting in the dark. The third thing that is missing is whether any of the honorable judges in the Collegium disagreed with the transfer either to Chhattisgarh or to Allahabad. We don't know who
Was it a
participated.
unanimous decision or was there a note of dissent?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yes.
We don't know. So now, if there was a note of dissent, it is important. So really, this secrecy behind what is happening is a little disturbing, right? Now, the other thing is that you see the resolution was passed on the 14th of October, 2025, and I presume it would have been uploaded the same day or maybe one day later. But nobody seems to have taken notice of it or drawn the attention of anybody to say that, listen, why is the government seeking reconsideration of the resolution for transfer? It's just from October to now, we are in January, well past 14th. 3 months later, this controversy has surfaced because of a speech or a lecture given by Justice Ujjal Bhuyan. So I'm a little intrigued, by this 3-month silence that those, who should be aware of this, didn't say or apparently didn't say because there's, again, like I said, there's nothing on
There is
record.
a silence.
There seems to be a silence,
Yes.
So it's disturbing, it's disappointing, and gives the feeling that if the government has interfered in this case, and it is apparent that the government has interfered in the sense of reconsideration, it would have asked for reconsideration or interfered in cases in the past. So this is not something that has happened for the first time. It could have happened, and I'm sure it did happen on earlier occasions. For example, no decision till date has been taken on the appointment of Mr. Saurabh Kirpal as a judge of the Delhi High Court. No decision was taken for 1 year on the appointment of Mr. Aditya Sondhi, a senior advocate to the High Court of Karnataka. And after 1 year, he withdrew his consent. We don't know the reason why Justice Akhil Qureshi was first appointed as or was recommended for appointment as Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh High Court, and then eventually took over as Chief Justice of Tripura High Court. Was it on the basis of reconsideration of the government? Was there some reason for that? There was also an instance sometime back when a judge of Delhi High Court was sought to be transferred out of Delhi High Court. And the then Chief Justice of India remarked in open court that the recommendation of the Collegium has not been implemented. So you have a situation where the government decides whom to appoint where, or at least it tells the Collegium that this is where we want this particular person, or we don't want this particular person. And it appears that the Collegium is accepting the view of the government, and nobody knows what is the view of the reason for the view of the government, and the reason why uh, the Collegium has accepted the view of the government.
Now, that obviously indicates that number one, if I can use the word abdication, to certain extent, the Collegium is abdicating, giving up its power, authority, and role, which is expected from it. And on the contrary, in a matter that is not indicated in the Constitution, it's beyond the Constitution, it seeks to sort of have a say, a dominant say in the appointment of the judges. Now, how do you look at it in the constitutional scheme?
You see, I look at it in the way which Justice Ujjal Bhuyan has articulated, in the sense that it impinges upon the independence of the judiciary. Unless we know the reason, everybody will just keep guessing. You know, it is theoretically possible that there is a very good reason for the government asking for reconsideration in the case of transfer of Justice Atul Sreedharan. It's possible that there's a good reason. It's also possible that the Collegium felt, yes, the reason is good enough and we must accede to the request. But until the reason is known and there is this secrecy that is, being
Convey.
maintained, anything is possible. I mean, anybody can draw any conclusion.
Would you like to indicate for the viewers, for their information, that any request from the government, due to any ground, can it said to be reasonable and justified?
Well, I don't know. I mean, so supposing there is some, good enough reason. Say somebody's relative is functioning in a particular high court. There are judges who have said that, my son or my daughter has joined practice, and therefore transfer me out of this high court to some nearby high court. There are instances of that. Now, supposing the judge is on the basis of the request, the judge is transferred to some other high court. And then after some time, the collegium transfers him back to the same high court. And the government says that, listen, you had transferred him because his son or daughter or some relative was practicing in that high court. So therefore, please don't do it. The Supreme Court might say, yeah, it's a reasonable, request. And we transferred him for this reason. Now we are bringing him back, even though the reason exists. And the collegium may say, all right, we accept what you say. But then again, we come back to the reason.
So there has to be a valid, objective reason,
Yes,
and the functioning should also be transparent.
yes,
Like the website, a particular decision not being available on the website or thereafter being taken out, having once been inserted.
yeah.
Now, I would like you to sort of kindly comment on a bigger question, that given such things happening, the judiciary's independence, is it a myth or do we have that actually? What would you comment?
The fact is that there are a lot of such instances. I had mentioned about the transfer of a judge from Delhi High Court,
Yes.
which was not accepted. the delay in appointing or considering the appointment of Aditya Sodhi, the delay in the appointment of Saurabh Kripal, the transfer of Justice Akhil Qureshi from Madhya Pradesh, apparently
Yes.
from Madhya Pradesh to Tripura. I've already mentioned these examples. Now you have the example of Justice Atul Sreedharan. Now there are several such examples. I mean, if one studies them, we'll be able to find out. Now, if you take all these examples, cumulatively, then there is a question mark on what's going on. You know, is the government influencing the Collegium or the Supreme Court? And if so, why is that happening? What is its impact going to be? You know,
And now, very quick two questions. One is that why doesn't Collegium stand up to its decision? That's number one. And secondly, having regard to this, what you have just articulated, what do you think is the way out?
well, first of all, transparency must be there. Unless, I mean, if everything is done, in a closed door sort of a manner, it will definitely give rise to speculation, and it has already given rise to speculation. And it will also give rise to, lectures and speeches given by other judges. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan may be the first,
Yes.
but may not be the last. So, is the Supreme Court Collegium waiting for somebody else to speak up about something else, or maybe about the same subject? So transparency in the functioning, because this has a very serious impact on the independence of the judiciary and the
Now,
credibility of the administrative decisions being taken by the Supreme Court. Now, if you're going to look, there were, say, about 24 transfers that had taken place earlier, maybe sometime in October only, of High Court judges. Now, somebody can say that why 24? What was the reason for all 24 to be transferred? Were there allegations against them, or was it, an unfavorable judgment? Each decision will then get questioned, right? So transparency is definitely on the cards. It must be there.
now, obviously, since these decisions, and you are referring to 24 and the past instances, so obviously it is not one collegium that has, if I can use the word, faulted or that has acted in a manner that has led to this. There have been earlier instances also. Now, what is the way out?
I don't know. I think the honorable judges of the Supreme Court should sit together and decide what is to be done. At one point of time, there was transparency, right?
Okay.
Then next thing we know, another collegium says that no, there should not be any transparency. Now you can't, take one decision one day,
Okay.
and a month later or 2 months later you take a completely opposite decision.
Stand. Yes. Policy.
I think they should just sit down and decide what is to be done. Now, let me give you one example of why this is important.
Yes.
There is this restatement of judicial values, right, which was a decision taken in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 98, but I think 1999, by the full court of the Supreme Court, right? It has not been reversed. It's an administrative decision or a view expressed by all the judges of the Supreme Court. Now, since then, under maybe 100 judges have graced the Supreme Court, and their term has come to an end. The restatement continues. Now, similarly, if the Collegium, in consultation with all the judges of the Supreme Court, arrives at a decision, because the present composition of the Supreme Court includes persons who are likely to, will definitely, not likely to, but who will definitely form the Collegium at some point of time.
Yes.
Many of them
Yes.
will enter the Collegium. Now, if all of them take a decision collectively, fair enough, it will last.
They
Instead
would be
of,
bound by it. Yes.
they will be bound by it. It's a decision that they've taken.
Yes.
And if they decide in favor of transparency, so much the better.
Thank you very much, Justice Lokur. And I hope this wish that you have expressed on the way out, let's see something happens along those lines. And thank you for your
Yeah.
time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.